Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today to share with you my measurements for this cute little faux film container, film roll. So Tamika Morris, who's sending smiles with Tamika, saw this on Instagram or something, and it was super cute. And the person had like a little dangly thing and a keychain. I don't have a keychain, so I just had the little dangly thing. This one I didn't put anything on yet because these are just my prototypes. I tried it several different ways, but this is the way that it was easier for me. I found it was easier without the closure tabs. So that's the way I'm going to show you. But if you want these closure tabs, all you have to do is add like 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch to each side and cut these little tabs to keep your circle. I didn't like having to guess, and you could see some of them, and it just, to me, it didn't help me. So I'm gonna do mine a little bit different. Okay, so I don't know any of her measurements. She didn't say anything. The girl who we saw, I'll post, if I know how to post that Instagram video in the description box, I will. Sometimes it doesn't allow you to link that, but yeah. So not gonna lie, I used my Cameo, or portrait actually, to cut out 1-inch circles with a 1/2 inch circle in the middle, and I also cut out a piece of cardstock, lightweight cardstock, that is 2 by 3 1/4. This is going to be this outside part. Okay, 2 by 3 1/4. So we're going to work on that piece. Actually, you know what? Let's leave our rectangle 2 by 3 1/4 up there, and then we need to cut a 2 1/4 by 4 piece of paper for the inside. We're working on this roller piece right here. So 2 1/4 by 4. And we're going to put that to the side. And then we're going to take our white paper. This is another thin cardstock. I think it's less than 65-pound weight. It says 65-pound weight on the package, but it's flimsy, which I'm using that for my, you know, what you're going to write on. So let's see, that is going to be 1 3/8 by 5. So those are all the pieces that you need, okay? Now, if you're going to put pictures on here, I would suggest that you use copy paper. You know, just so you have something thin, because once you start adding pictures, it's going to get a little thick. I would do copy paper and then print my pictures on copy paper and score tape it together. I wouldn't use glue because that's going to make it kind of hard to roll. I would use score tape or tape runner to do my pictures. I think we're just writing our information on here, so I'm not going to do anything with that. So let's take our 1/4 of an inch, and we're going to start with the very last one that we did. And I'm just prepping tape right now. For me, it's easier for me to have all my pieces ready to go for this project than to do each one individual, if that makes sense. Alright, so this is my strip. I just put a piece of 1/4 inch score tape. That's prepped. We are going to go to the inside piece. So our yellow piece, our piece that's 2 1/4 by 4. I'm just going to put a piece of tape, 1/4 of an inch. That's good to go. Now our outside piece. Okay, this is our 2 by 3 1/4. This is where you need to do some work, okay? If you have a Tim Holtz ruler or one like this, it's going to be a lifesaver, okay? So this is how I figured out my measurements. I don't know if this is right, but this is what worked for me. what I did was I marked off a 1/2 inch with like a pencil. Okay, and then I marked off 1/8 of an inch, or you can do 1/4 of an inch or slightly under, whatever you want. This is slightly less than 1/4 of an inch. And then I came in on my left side. I marked off 1/4 of an inch. Came in on my right side. I marked off 1/4 of an inch. And I cut out this little mini section right here. Okay. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to have 1/4 of an inch tape at the top, 1/4 of an inch space, and then my 1/8 of an inch opening. Actually, this was, see, it's slightly over 1/8 of an inch, but less than 1/4. So do what you want. And that's how I did mine. Okay. When I pencil drew it, like I said, once I pencil drew it, I put it in my design studio and called it done. All right. So that is all you're going to do. You're going to cut that little piece out. Now you're going to take your bone folder and you're going to kind of roll this. Now, this is if you want to make one that's the same size as mine. It's about 1 inch. Like I said, you needed 1 inch circle with a 1/2 inch in the middle. If you have the mat like mine, this is number 24. That's how I figured out what I needed. Okay. It doesn't take this long, but I'm just trying to make sure I am very thorough with these instructions. What I like to do to make it easier for me is on the outside or the front of your paper, I'm going to mark 1/4 of an inch here. That's just so when I roll mine over, I know where to stick it. Like so. And that gives me that almost 1 inch circle. It is smaller than 1 inch because that's just what I wanted to do to make my life easier when I'm putting on the circle things. Alright, so I just took my tape backing off. I'm lining it up with that line, putting it on, and it's going to want an oval. So just grab something round, which I had my hand sanitizer over here. Oh, here it is. I just used a hand sanitizer bottle because it was a 1 inch circle. And just forced it around and made it round. Nothing hard, okay? It's not going to go perfectly round. I don't know how to solve that problem, okay? I don't. All right, so our outside is almost done, okay? So now I took one of our 1 inch circles with a 1/2 inch circle in there, and I glued wet glue around the perimeter. If you are brave to use your hot glue, use your hot glue. I already lost a fingerprint to hot glue, so you know. You do not want to get inside that circle at all because then your mechanism is not going to work. So just the perimeter, put this down, you know, line it up as best as you can. It's not going to be perfectly round. It is not going to be perfectly centered. It is not going to matter. Just get it on there, okay? Fuss about it if you want to, but you really do not have to. And of course I say that as I'm fussing about. This is where you would have had your whatchamacallits. This is why I like wet glue, because see, look, I can just move it around, making sure it's adhering. Oh, you can't even see. Making sure it's adhering. I'm trying to make this one perfect because this one's going to a partner, so I'm being a little bit more picky than what I need to be. I'm overthinking it right now. You know how we do when we make it for someone else. When I made it for myself, I took 2 seconds to do this. But no, I want it to be absolutely perfectly round, which is not going to happen. Anyway, so I forgot what I was saying now. All right, so making sure that it's on there all the way. Oh, the grabby tabs. This is where you would have had the grabby tabs if you added that extra bit to make the grabby tabs, and then it would have went on. So that seems easier in theory, but for me, I don't know. My brain just didn't like it, so I didn't want them. Okay. Okay. I now remember what I did. I put this on there, and then I put this on. And it was easy. It took me 1 second. All right, so we got to let that dry, which I'm testing it to see if it's dry yet. Because I was like, I know I did this in like half a second. This is what I did. I put it on the round thing, and then it was easier. All right, so we're going to let that dry and put it to the side. Okay. Now we need to work on this inside mechanism. We only did one ring. That's very important. Only one ring on one side. That ring we haven't got to yet. We haven't got to our solid circle. Not yet. All right, push it to the side. We're working on our inside now. So my yellow piece is, let me see if I can pull this out. Come on. Okay. We're working on this part right here. Okay. What you're going to do, you know, just kind of prep your paper to roll, and starting with the untaped side. Well, actually, this I have to do the tape side because I put it on the wrong side. You're just going to try to train your paper to roll. Roll it towards your tape. Use your bone folder. Right now I'm not worried about the size, I'm just worried about it rolling. I'm just working the fibers on that paper. Okay, that's all I'm doing right now. Okay, now that I feel like she can roll, now I'm going to try to make sure I get it in that 1/2 inch circle. Okay, so I rolled it up tight, and now I'm just going to let it go loose. See how I did that? I rolled it tight and I let it expand in the ring. Okay, and now I'm just going to take my backing off. See, that's still on because I want it to be snug. Not tight, but snug. Okay, and now I can take the backing off the rest. Like so. And set it down. See, it's still snug, but not tight. Okay? Alright. So now we have that. Now we're going to take our little strip, that was the 1 3/8 strip, that we put the tape on one side, and I'm just going to go and tape mine right above the seam in the middle as best as you can, and roll it about. Probably should have trained that paper first. Use your bone folder, the edge of your desk, whatever you have. The more you play with it, the easier it's going to be. Okay. There we go. Let's pull in our pink piece. I don't think mine's dry all the way yet. Yeah, we're going to continue. And you're going to get this, mine is the white piece, inside of your little slit, okay? And then make sure the end comes through that hole. Now for mine, I just wanted it to be slightly bigger than the, oh, I took it apart. I wanted it to be slightly bigger than the roll. This one is about maybe an inch bigger. I didn't really like the look at this one. It was too much. So if your paper comes out like that, that's fine. Just roll it back up until it, I wasn't paying attention, I let it go. This is what I did before, so that way it doesn't go back in. Yeah, this isn't dry yet. That's okay. Okay, so now we have that. Now we're going to take our other circle, and we can't put it on the, you know, on the Sacral bottle anymore because we have the little roller thing in there. So this side here is just going to be a little bit more finicky, if you will. You want to make sure you do not glue in your roller bit. Your roller bit is the most important piece. So just put it over and on top. See, when I don't overthink it, how fast that was? Yep, don't overthink it. Just put it on there. Oops. Don't move your fingers till it's dry. I'm going to see if I can pause this while it's drying. Okay, once it's dry, just find your little inner piece, push it through, and there you go. Okay, yes, you can see glue here because I'm experimenting if I think that adds or anything, but I don't think it does. I just put glue around the rim to see if that would make it a little sturdier, but I don't think it adds or takes away anything. So you can do that extra stuff if you want. I just was experimenting. Now I'm going to take a pokey tool, or in this case, an ice pick, and I push this out a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and make a hole. We probably should have made the hole before we stuck it in here, but I didn't think of that. Just going to go through. Oh, it's already through. I'm putting a hole in my mat. I'm just going to make sure it's big enough for my ring. Okay. It's my pokey tool. I'm going to put my ring in there. Maybe. And it's not going to allow you to pull it all the way out because we have a stopper, so don't worry about that. You know, let it guide you. And then put your ring in there. Okay, let me get a tool thing to close that. Okay. Push it back through. This is why you need to make sure that your circles are completely dry, because you're doing a lot of pushing and pulling. Okay, now we're going to take our hot glue, or you can use your wet glue if you want. I just found hot glue was faster. And on the end without your ring, you're just going to hot glue around that. And you're going to use your solid circle, and you're going to cover that. This way you're not too worried about your ring circle, because that solid circle is going to cover any ugly bits that you had. Okay. And then when you pull it, and you wind it back. So I guess it'll look like this pull it and you wind it back. I like to use the solid circle myself. It was easier. You can put a solid circle, I think. Wait, before I say that. Maybe not. But the film has like that little piece sticking out anyway, so pull, wind it back. So on this one, what I did is I added this little funky piece, which was longer than my opening, because sometimes when I was winding it back, I wound it too far and it was going in. This one doesn't seem to be doing that. So just keep that in mind, that you might have to stick something here. I think in the video she stuck like another tab or something that was like a little bit longer. So it's up to you. But yeah, so fun. Look at that. I love it. Obviously, if I did it in black, it would look more like a film case, but my project's not black, so I did it in pink. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.